7 Dangerous Morning Mistakes People over 70 make. My dear friends, let me speak to you from the heart. As someone who has walked many decades, someone who has seen the seasons of life turn one after another. If you are over 70, you already carry a treasure no one can take away. The wisdom of time, the knowledge of struggles survived, the memories of joy and pain intertwined. You have learned lessons that the young cannot yet understand. But even with all this wisdom, there is one part of your day that often escapes attention, one part that quietly determines the quality of your life, and that is how you greet the morning. Mornings are sacred. They are more than the rising of the sun or the ticking of the clock. They are the doorway through which your body, your mind, and your spirit step into the world. How you begin this time sets the rhythm of the entire day. Yet, I have seen so many people, even the wisest among us, fall into little traps during these early hours. They rush, they neglect, they forget, and these habits, seemingly harmless, quietly steal energy, vitality, and even years from life. I want you to hear me clearly. Age does not mean weakness. Age does not mean surrender. It means understanding your body and your spirit, respecting their needs, and learning to move with intention. Each morning, the body awakens slowly, the heart beats in a delicate rhythm, and the mind is tender, ready to be shaped by the first thoughts, the first actions, the first breath. If we treat it carelessly, we invite fatigue, imbalance, and frustration. If we treat it with mindfulness, we invite strength, clarity, and peace. In my years, I have watched friends and neighbors stumble over routines that could have been simple moments of safety and nourishment. I have seen people skip breakfast, rush out of bed, ignore water, or greet the news with worry before greeting themselves with kindness. I have watched how a forgotten glass of water can lead to dizziness, how ignoring movement can stiffen joints, how starting the day with negativity can cloud the mind for hours. These are not just mistakes. They are lessons written in the lives of those who ignored the gentle wisdom of their own bodies. But there is hope, and there is power in knowledge. You do not need to fight your age. You need to honor it. You do not need to conquer the morning. You need to understand it. The smallest adjustments, simple acts of care, moments of attention, can transform the way your day unfolds. They can bring more energy, more joy, and more calm than you ever imagined possible. So, my dear friends, I invite you to walk with me through this understanding. I want to share 7 dangerous morning mistakes that many people over 70 make, mistakes that quietly erode health and happiness. But more importantly, I want to share how you can avoid them, how you can greet each morning as a gift rather than a challenge. Because even at 70, 80, or beyond, life can still be vibrant, fulfilling, and full of light. The morning is your opportunity to care for your body, nurture your mind, and feed your spirit. It is a chance to honor yourself and the life you have lived so far. Take these words to heart, and let us begin this journey together. Let us step into the wisdom of the day, aware, prepared, and grateful, knowing that how we greet the morning will shape the rest of our lives. Mistake 1. Rushing out of bed without care. My friends, I want you to hear this carefully. One of the most common dangers for people over 70 is something so simple, so ordinary, that we hardly think of it: rushing out of bed. I have seen it countless times. Someone wakes, feels the day calling, and in their eagerness or habit, they throw off the covers and stand up too quickly. And in that instant, their world wobbles. A dizziness hits, balance falters, and sometimes a fall follows. At 70, one fall can change everything. Your body has changed, my dear friends. The heart beats differently. The blood flows differently. The joints are not as flexible as they once were. Standing too quickly is not just uncomfortable, it is dangerous. The sudden shift can strain your heart, spike your blood pressure, or make your head spin in ways that a younger body would barely notice. I remember my dear friend Thomas. He was 81, strong as a bull, or so he thought. One morning, he woke to the birds singing, excitement coursing through him. Without a thought, he jumped from the bed to greet the day. Within moments, he was on the floor, shaken, scared, and injured enough that he had to rely on help for weeks. He told me later, with a rueful smile, "I thought I was too old to worry about mornings." I learned that day I wasn't too old to respect them. The truth, my friends, is simple. Mornings are delicate. Your body deserves a gentle awakening. Start by sitting at the edge of the bed, breathing deeply, feeling your feet touch the floor, feeling your muscles stretch, wiggle your toes, roll your shoulders. Let the blood flow slowly. Let the world arrive to you at your pace, not your pace forcing the world upon you. Even a minute of mindful sitting can make the difference between a bright, safe start and a dangerous, disorienting beginning. The morning is not a race, it is a gift. Treat it as such, and your body will honor you. Mistake 2. Skipping morning water. Now, let's speak of another quiet thief of vitality. Skipping water in the morning. I have watched elders rise, rub their eyes, and immediately reach for tea, coffee, or even nothing at all, thinking, "I'll drink later." But overnight, your body has been without fluids. Your cells are parched, your blood is thicker, and your kidneys are calling for attention. Drinking water first thing is not just habit, it is a lifeline. I knew a woman named Eleanor who at 73 believed she didn't need water first thing in the morning. She would pour herself a cup of coffee, sit down to read the news, and feel fatigue and dizziness wash over her. Her doctor was concerned, but she shrugged, thinking, "I'm old. This is normal." Then one day she listened to a nurse who gently suggested, "Try a glass of water before anything else." She laughed, thinking it trivial, but the next morning she drank it. By noon, she noticed a clarity she hadn't felt in years. By the week's end, her joints ached less, her mind felt sharper, and even her mood lifted. She told me, "It's like I had been walking through fog, and now the sun is shining again." Water is life, my friends. It wakes up your organs, it cleanses your system, it lubricates your joints, and it fuels your brain. Even a small glass before any food or drink can make the difference between a sluggish, foggy day and one full of energy and clarity. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, reach for the water first. Sip slowly. Feel it move through you. Let it remind you that you are still alive, still present, and still capable of caring for yourself. This small act of respect for your body can ripple through your entire day, shaping your health and your spirit. Mistake 3. Skipping breakfast or eating the wrong breakfast. My dear friends, there is a saying I have always lived by. The first meal of the day is not just food, it is a promise to yourself. Yet so many elders, even the wise ones, make the mistake of skipping breakfast entirely or filling their bodies with the wrong fuel. Some wake and claim, "I'm not hungry yet," while others reach for sugary pastries or greasy foods, thinking a quick bite will suffice. But your body, at 70 and beyond, is no longer a machine that can handle reckless energy swings. It needs nourishment that respects its age and experience. Skipping breakfast leaves you weak, tired, and unfocused. You may find yourself dizzy, irritable, or short of patience before the day has even truly begun. Eating the wrong breakfast, a donut, a heavy fried meal, or sugar-laden cereal, does not help either. It spikes your blood sugar and crashes it just as quickly, leaving you exhausted and frustrated. I remember Mrs. Patricia, a vibrant 75-year-old woman with sparkling eyes and an infectious laugh. She had lived alone for years, and like many, she often skipped breakfast, telling herself she could catch up later. But she noticed that she became lightheaded during her morning walks. Her energy plummeted by mid-morning, and even her moods seemed fragile. Then one day, she tried a simple change, a small bowl of oatmeal with fresh fruit, a boiled egg, and a cup of warm tea. That day, she said, "I felt like I had finally woken up from a long sleep." By the week's end, she was stronger, steadier, and far more cheerful. Breakfast is your first act of self-respect, my friends. Feed your body wisely. Choose foods that are simple, nourishing, and balanced. Grains, fruits, a bit of protein, perhaps some yogurt or nuts. Let your breakfast be gentle but powerful, a way of telling your body, I honor you, I care for you, I will walk with you through this day. Do not underestimate this meal. The morning sets the tone for your mind, your energy, and your heart. A good breakfast is not indulgence. It is survival, it is dignity, and it is the foundation for the day you deserve. Mistake 4. Forgetting morning movement. Now, let us speak of something even more powerful than food: movement. At 70 and beyond, many people slow down. They believe that rest is safer, that exercise is risky, that their joints are too fragile to bear the strain of activity. But let me tell you something I have learned through years of observing life. Stillness can become your greatest enemy. The body was designed to move, and the more gently and intentionally we move, the stronger, steadier, and healthier we remain. Movement in the morning need not be strenuous. You do not need a gym, heavy weights, or complicated machines. Even a few simple stretches, a short walk in the fresh air, or gentle bending exercises at your window can awaken your muscles, lubricate your joints, and stimulate your heart. Think of it as sending a message to every cell in your body. We are alive. We are ready. We are capable. I recall Mr. Harold, a retired carpenter who, at 80, still greeted the day with a slow walk in his garden. Barefoot on the grass, he would bend to touch the soil, reach toward the sky, and rotate his shoulders and neck in small, deliberate circles. He told me, I do this not to stay young, but to remind myself that my body is not done yet, that my spirit is still in motion. His vitality amazed those half his age, and he credited his daily movement with the longevity and independence he enjoyed. Even 5 minutes of gentle exercise in the morning can transform your day. It improves balance, reduces stiffness, energizes your brain, and strengthens your heart. It is not just a physical act, it is a declaration that life continues to move through you. So, my dear friends, when you rise tomorrow, do not sit passively. Stand, stretch, walk, or move in a way that honors the body that has carried you for all these years. Let your morning movement be a ritual of gratitude, a celebration of life, and a safeguard for your health. Mistake 5. Filling the mind with negativity. My dear friends, let me speak to your hearts for a moment. One of the most subtle, yet dangerous mistakes we make in the morning is not about our body, it's about our mind. How often do we wake, reach for the news, the phone, or the television, and immediately fill our heads with worry, fear, or irritation? We read headlines of chaos, listen to reports of suffering, or scroll endlessly through the troubles of the world before we have even fully opened our eyes. And in that quiet moment, our day is stolen. The mind is like fertile soil, especially in the morning. Whatever seeds you plant, there will grow throughout the day. If you plant anxiety, fear, or anger, it blooms. If you plant calm, gratitude, and intention, it strengthens you. But many of us, even after 70 years of life, forget this simple truth. We assume that the world must dictate our mood before we have had a chance to speak to ourselves, before we have greeted the sun with kindness. I remember my friend Margaret, who at 78 had a ritual of checking her emails and news first thing. She would sip her tea, grimace at the headlines, and sigh, "What a terrible world." Over time, I noticed she became quieter, less energetic, and more anxious. Then she made a change. Each morning, before any external influence, she spent 10 minutes sitting quietly, taking deep breaths, and expressing gratitude for the simple things: the warmth of the sun, the smell of her coffee, the life she still had. She told me, "It's not that the world changed, I changed, and everything after that feels lighter." My friends, your mind in the morning is a sanctuary. Guard it. Speak kindly to yourself. Read something uplifting, pray, meditate, or simply notice the beauty around you. Protect your thoughts from negativity before they take root. The morning sets the tone, and your mental energy will influence every word, every step, every decision you make. Plant seeds of hope, not despair. Plant gratitude, not resentment. Mistake 6. Ignoring medication or health rituals. Now, let's speak frankly about something that affects nearly all of us as we age: health management. After 70, many of us rely on medications, supplements, or morning rituals prescribed by our doctors. And yet, one of the most dangerous mistakes is ignoring them or taking them carelessly. Some skip doses because they forget. Others think they feel fine and can delay or skip entirely. Some take medications without water or at the wrong time. I have witnessed the consequences firsthand. One morning, my neighbor George, a spry 82-year-old, skipped his blood pressure medicine just for one day because he felt fine. By noon, he was dizzy, disoriented, and his heart raced. A small act of neglect could have become a disaster. Years of stability and health can unravel in a single morning if we fail to honor the routines that sustain us. Our bodies are no longer resilient in the ways they once were. Every supplement, every pill, every ritual, from stretching to blood sugar checks, is part of the structure that allows us to live fully and independently. Neglect them, and you invite fatigue, dizziness, or worse, complications. Remember, my friends, age brings wisdom, but also responsibility. It is not vanity to take care of your body. It is necessity. Set a morning routine that respects your health. Place your medications where you will see them. Use reminders if necessary, and never underestimate the power of consistency. These small acts of diligence are gifts to your body and your life, protecting you for the adventures and quiet joys that await. Mistake 7. Overlooking the power of morning reflection. My dear friends, we have spoken of the body, the mind, and the health routines. But there is one final mistake, perhaps the most subtle, and yet the most transformative: overlooking the power of morning reflection. How often do we wake, get dressed, eat, and move through the day without ever pausing to connect with ourselves? Without reflection, mornings become mechanical, hollow, and our days lack purpose. Reflection is not merely thinking, it is listening. It is speaking softly to your own soul. It is a moment to ask, what do I hope for today? How do I want to feel? How will I honor my life and my body? At 70 and beyond, reflection is a compass. It is what turns a day from routine into meaning, from ordinary into sacred. I recall my friend Samuel, a gentleman of 84, who had once been a busy businessman. Every morning, he would rush to the newspaper, sip his coffee, and think of the tasks ahead. He felt restless, disconnected, and even lonely at times. Then, on the advice of a younger friend, he began spending 5 quiet minutes each morning sitting in his garden, closing his eyes and reflecting on gratitude, intention, and purpose. He noticed a shift almost immediately. His steps were lighter, his voice warmer, and even his interactions with others carried more patience and joy. He told me, "I had all the time in the world before, but I never used it to know myself. Reflection is the richest part of my morning now." Reflection can take many forms: journaling, prayer, meditation, or simply watching the sunrise with conscious awareness. It slows your day, aligns your mind and heart, and reminds you that every moment is precious. Do not underestimate this simple practice. A few quiet minutes in the morning can ripple through your entire life, bringing clarity, peace, and resilience that no medicine or exercise alone can provide. Conclusion. My friends, after all these years, after decades of walking this earth, I can tell you this with certainty. Mornings matter more than we often realize. They are the foundation of our days, the silent architects of our health, our energy, and our spirit. The 7 mistakes we have spoken of today, rushing out of bed, skipping water, neglecting breakfast, avoiding movement, feeding the mind with negativity, ignoring health rituals, and overlooking reflection, are not punishments. They are gentle reminders from life itself that we must honor our bodies, our minds, and our souls. You have lived long enough to know that time is a gift, and every morning is the first page of a new chapter. Treat it with care, move gently, drink deeply, eat wisely, think kindly, follow your health routines, and above all, reflect. These simple acts are powerful. They protect you, uplift you, and allow you to live with dignity, joy, and purpose. Do not fear your age, my friends. Embrace it. Let the wisdom of 70, 80, or more years guide your choices each morning. You have learned lessons that youth cannot yet comprehend, and you can use that knowledge to shape every sunrise into a moment of strength, calm, and grace. Tomorrow morning and every morning after, greet the day as a friend. Care for yourself as you would care for a treasured companion. Respect the quiet power of these early hours, and they will reward you with vitality, clarity, and a profound sense of peace. Life, even after 70, is not about slowing down. It is about moving wisely, living intentionally, and cherishing the gift of each new dawn. So rise slowly, sip your water, nourish your body, move with care, think with clarity, follow your health rituals, and reflect deeply. Let these 7 truths guide you, and you will discover that mornings, once overlooked, once rushed, once careless, can become the most precious and transformative part of your life.